Jim?
Well, there's new fallout today from House Majority Leader Eric Cantor's call to arms over what he calls President Obama's Imperial Presidency. I have a copy of a memo that he sent to House Republicans, and in it, Cantor writes, President Obama has provided a new clarity as to what constitutes an imperial presidency, declaring that he has a pen and a phone. He has acted to effectively rewrite the laws of the United States. Cantor also writing about his plan to replace Obamacare with a new health care program. Let's bring in Angela McGlowan, Fox News political analyst, and Chris Kafinas, former chief of staff to Senator Joe Manchin. And it's great to have both of you here. Welcome.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
In this memo, Angela, which
yes.
I read a couple of times to make sure that I got it all right, he says that he will, with the GOP,
yes.
present bold conservative solutions to what the GOP and Republicans will not accept as the new normal, which is that 1 in 6 working-age men are unemployed, that there are, I guess, policies and actions that they want to take that will bring growth. What are they?
Well, Jamie, they're conservative policies where Americans can keep more money in their pocket, where we will decrease taxes and give more responsibility to the people. President Reagan said the only time that man can be free is when government is limited. And with this administration, we've had a presidency that's created more government, more government. However, if the GOP's goal is to win a majority in the Senate, retain the majority in the House, and ultimately win in 2016 the White House, we cannot go down the path of talking about an imperial presidency, that the Obama administration is an administration of lawlessness, because that does not bode well to the American sentiment.
Chris, there's pages and pages of specific measures that will be brought up in the next couple of weeks in Cantor's memo. One of them talks about greater transparency. Another one, March 3rd, that they'll take up is to make sure that middle-class Americans have jobs. They seem to address things that specifically the president hasn't. What kind of consideration will it get by the White House?
Well, I mean, I think that Democrats and even the White House will be open to, any good idea that makes government work better, or even, the Affordable Care Act work better. I mean, listen, I read the memo. I read the memo a couple of times. The problem, I think, with one, the framing of it, this, the notion of this, imperial presidency and how they're clearly going to be going after the president is just a very angle of attack, considering when you look at the facts. Whether you're talking about executive orders or regulations, the president, has passed actually fewer executive orders than President Bush has, and fewer than Ronald Reagan at this point. So it's a strange angle of attack.
That is true. What you're stating, I want the viewers to know, is a fact. Mm-hmm. Every president has done it, and the president has done it less. But the president has been out there caught on a mic, I heard it myself, saying, that's the great thing about being president. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do you recall ever hearing another president sort of boast about the fact that they have the ability to pass laws and circumvent what is supposed to be equal power in the branches of government?
I think it is true since the beginning of this country that there has been a tension between president and Congress, whether that was a Republican president or Democratic president. That's true since the days of George Washington. But that is never going to change.
But, Chris, there's hypocrisy here. There's hypocrisy
wait a second. I understand that, Angela. Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, what you're talking about, this is our system of government.
And
there
I'm
is
not saying that it is
constitutional tension between branches of government.
If you recall, Senator Obama bashed President Bush for executive orders, and he said he was going to take Washington, D.C. if he won the presidency back to the American people. The bottom line is this, Jamie. Liberals are very good at insulting Republicans, demonizing Republicans, and negative campaigning and blaming. Conservatives are not. What we're good at is solutions, and that's what we need to do, is create a concise message, one message where we can go out to the American people and articulate what we're going to do.
Angela,
this memo actually,
here is the problem.
But you don't do a
Hold on one second, guys. Chris, I would really encourage people to read this memo.
Right.
It covers a lot of different areas, and for all the allegations by Democrats that Republicans aren't proposing solutions, in the next 2 weeks in Congress, they will be looking at substantive measures that address a lot of the issues in this country. Let me ask you about this one, Chris, specifically. The week of March 10th, they will effectively address the pen and phone comment that the president made and try to restore the balance of power created by our founders. Do you feel that it's out of balance? And if it isn't, why would they raise it? What's the response from Democrats?
Well, I think, listen, Republicans are clearly trying to frame the president in order to kind of, rally up their base. I get it. The problem, especially when you read the memo, I mean, I'll take the one point about their attacks on the Affordable Care Act. And, and I've said on this program many a times there's things that need to be changed to make it work better, as other Democrats have. But you can't simply just criticize and not have an alternative. And even in the memo, they say that basically we're going to come up with our idea sometime in the future. Again, this is this thing that's been going on now for years where they propose their ideas down the future.
President Obama's plan that is continuing to go on and the changes and the delays. Back to the measure of restoring power, Angela.
Yes.
Can you ask Congress to pass something like the Affordable Care Act and then not go back to them if you do want to make changes? I mean, constitutionally?
There are regulatory changes that the administration can make, Jamie, where you have provisions in any type of legislation. And having said that, some of the things that the president has done in delay, some people have said has not been constitutional. But going back to the memo, we as conservatives, we can't talk about imperial presidency. You can't do a negative with a positive. What we need to do, since we voted to repeal Obamacare so many times in the House, it is time now for conservatives, Tea Partiers, and the establishment to have one concise message.
All right.
So though the memo was great, Jamie, I don't like the imperial presidency.
I understand. Well, hopefully it'll at least open the discussion and we can get both sides talking again. I think America wants bipartisanship. We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much. Chris and Angela, always great to have you on, especially together.